Welcome to Carp Captures Volume 8. This is part 1 of a 2-set video, and as you can see, it's autumn now. Carp are getting cuter to catch, conditions are getting colder, so you know we're all wrapping up, so the carp, and the water's going clear. Big problem for us carp anglers. And what this one's all about is actually location. Now, as you can see, coming up to this first swim, full of weed. There's a big bank of weed right there, right? So basically, there's a clear spot over there. I can see that. I'll fish with it. One problem is it's silty. I know this bottom of the pit like the back of my hand. It's silt. So inline leads are a no, because what would happen is the inline, as we all know, just goes straight in and it will stop, and then your rig useless. So as we can see, you know, it's quite nice. It's a long pit. Very shallow. This is the actual shallow, and there's a deeper bit up there as well, which we're going to have a look at a bit later on. So yeah, full of weed, as you can see. We've got rush beds all the way up and down the pit. So basically, and it's also full of silt, which means natural food. So now what we're going to do is we're going to quickly walk up to the next bit, because it's got an overhanging tree. You never know, we might see some carp there. So if you follow me. Now it's quite a warm day. I'd say it's about 17 degrees, maybe a little bit more. But at this time of the year, when it's autumn, summer is just dying off, winter's coming in. What rigs do I use? I've been asked that question a little bit of recently, and top tip is, if you're fishing in weed, you know, basically fishing in weed, use a chod rig, you know. And as you can see, there's a little bit of weed here, also a few lily pads, but look what we've got sitting right there, a tree, which means overhanging. So that means there's going to be carp there all day long, same with tend. So basically, if you're on any pit and there's a tree, don't ignore it. You know, walk around. You know, if it takes about an hour to find the carp, then it takes an hour. That's a mistake a lot of people do. I've even seen it down here. People just come in, crash their rods in. Oh, I'm going to catch. Meanwhile, the carp are at the other end. You know, so what you have to do is do pay attention. You know, you pay attention to your rigs, don't you? So pay attention to your location. If you can't locate them, you're not going to catch them. You know, I've done it myself. When I first started getting into carp fishing, I just chucked my rods in. Didn't even give a damn. But obviously, over the years, I have learned, I've progressed to the angler that I am now. And believe it or not, I'm showing guys how to do it. You know, so up we go. We're going to go to a little corner now, little carpy corner as I call it. So this is Carpy Corner, and obviously someone's made a swim, but ooh, there's a carp just down there. Don't know if you can see him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to creep down here. So as you can see, the carp already in this corner, right? So the carp already in this corner. You know, you've got lovely lily pads just over there. Nice bank of weed. So obviously on a warm day like today, the carp are going to be in the shallow a bit, because obviously carp are cold-blooded creatures. They need warming up. Top tip there. So you know, yeah. So location really. If you can't locate them, then you ain't going to catch them, like I said before. Don't ignore the margins. You know, I've seen loads of guys at Ferry Meadows. That's the complex not far from here at Ferry Meadows. They're casting out 110 yards and all of that, yeah, you know, but yet a guy comes down and catches like a 20 pounder out the margin. So don't ignore the margins, but also that's also another point, you know. Sometimes on pitch you do have to fish at 120 yards or whatever, you know, but that's life, innit? It's carp fishing. So you know, yeah. What we're going to do in part 2, I'll just take you through that quickly, is going to be about bait, and I've also got a perfect rig for you guys that are just starting. So yeah, this is location. I would say it's covered, but it's not really, because we have to go right in depth now. Weed. Every lake. It's in every single lake. You know, don't ignore it. Fish in it or around it. You know, I've fished in weed with massive PVA bags, literally like that big. Just literally, I'm chucking it onto the other side, the rig. Obviously down here, chucking it right over there. Gone round, made a PVA bag, and I'm just chucking it in the margin just over there. Alright, it hasn't caught me a carp, but it's caught me loads of tench, but I know it does work for carp. So, yeah, you know, also, a lot of you beginners are confused, you know, about location. Oh, where do I go? How do I do this? Well, really, a top little tip is, if you go to an easy pit, where there's loads of carp, you're going to catch all day long, you don't really need to think about it. But places like this, where it's a lot harder, right, you do have to kind of think about it, you know. These carp have been in here for, oh, I'd say 50 years probably, some of them, you know. There's always been carp in here. But, yeah, it's personal preference. I like to fish in the weed, you know. I like to fish out the weed. There's real no gravel patches down here, but, well, there is one. Like we said in the first video, there's one just in the deep end, but that's quite hard to find sometimes. So yeah, gravel patches are enough a good thing, but believe it or not, carp are wising up to gravel patches now. Obviously, you know, they've been caught on them and all of that. So yeah, and silt, that's another one. Silt. Well, where did we begin with silt? Like I said just a few minutes ago, this pit's full of silt. Both of them are, you know. So yeah, fish in the silt effectively. Go for the harder patch of the silt, you know, the marker float and all of that. So join us in part 2 of Carp Catches 8, where, like I said, we're going to have a look at bait, i.e. boilies and particles, and I've got a rig perfect for your beginners. So we'll see you later.